All right. Hey, welcome back to this. That's the working title of this. We're just calling it Welcome to This.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just kind of feeling out. You're our second episode, by the way.
Who was first?
Adam Christopher.
Oh, word.
Yeah. Guys, this is Alex Payne. He's a comic in New York City.
That's true.
Very funny guy. He comes from LA.
That's true.
We met in Europe.
Yep.
So, you know, if you guys don't know, if this is your first time tuning in, this is a traveling podcast where comics get on. They talk about their travels, places they'd like to go, places they want to go again, whatever. And then, yeah, and Alex you came into my mind because, you know, we met abroad.
Yes,
I didn't even know you existed in New York City.
Yeah, I think that was interesting. Yeah, it was like the way we met right away was instantaneous bond forever.
Dude, tell that story.
Yeah, we were at the Comedy Store in London, and they have this. I guess it's their what is it? Their heckle mic,
the King Gong
mic,
gong show.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, what it is a bunch of acts go up. You try and do, I think, 3 minutes and last past the gong, and then you keep going to the final round. But that day, no one American made it. Anyone who was American immediately was booed off stage. And I got booed off stage first, and then you were after?
No, I went first.
Oh, you were first?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Dude,
so,
yeah, because, well, I was cocky.
Yeah.
I was cocky because
As you should be.
Well, because I did a gong show the night before at, it's called Big Belly now, but it used to be called Vauxhall.
Oh, yeah, I did that one too. I won that
Vauxhall
one.
Comedy Club. And that's where I heard about, that's where I heard your name first.
Yeah.
So I do the Vauxhall Comedy Club gong show.
Mm-hmm.
I come in second place.
Yeah.
Behind the kid who would win King Gong the next night.
The
Asian
Chinese kid, I think?
He's from
Vietnamese?
Singapore.
Okay, right,
whatever.
yeah.
I forget his name. Jin Hao.
Yeah, Jin Hao.
Yeah. Jin. Shout out Jin if you're listening. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
But Jin, came in second place behind Jin. And then the guys afterwards were like, oh, mate, you got to do King Gong tomorrow. If you're still in town, you should do it. It's fun. And then I was like, oh, yeah. And they're like, do you know Alex Payne? And they brought you up. And I was like, no, I don't. And they're like, he won last week at Vauxhall.
I won that one, yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool. And they're like, yeah, he'll probably be there tomorrow. You guys can meet, whatever. I was like, all right, cool. Get to King Gong. I show up early. I was excited. I was hanging around Piccadilly because if you don't know London, the Comedy Store is in Piccadilly Circus, and there's a lot to do over there. That's like their Times Square.
1000%, yeah.
Yeah, and so
you can see Beetlejuice if you want, or Back to the Future,
or like you go to the movies.
Yeah,
you go see Broadway shows, whatever. And I was hanging around there. I think I went to like Shake Shack. I was like hanging out there. I was just killing time, whatever. And then I'm like, like the show starts at like 7:30, and I think I got there at like 7.
Yeah.
Just like check in. I get there. I'm like the first person there. Like the crew, like the Comedy Store, like employees were still like setting up tables. Yeah. I meet the booker. I forget his name, but I went up to him, and then he's like, "Oh, you're Brandon." And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, okay. Would you like to go first?" And I was like, "Sure, yeah. Okay. Why not? Like, let's get it over with." You know?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Just letting you know." There's no grace period, which means that they could boo you off at like any time.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, easy, done, whatever. He's like, okay. And then I thought, because in my head, I was like, they're not going to boo the first guy.
Yeah, you think they're going to warm up into some
Warm
booze.
up.
Yeah.
Warm up. Like, come on, give the first guy. The first guy is going to get a little bit of slack.
They're English. They're a little reserved.
Why not? They're not drunk yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they know they can, but it's like, why the first guy? So I got that going for me. And then I got up on stage, immediately just started setting up this joke that was my opening joke for like a while, at least for like half the year up until that point.
Right.
And I started setting it up and just immediately hear like groans like, ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. Get him off. And then it just came tumbling down. And after that, I got booed off stage in 1 minute and 7 seconds. And then I get off stage. Then you go up like maybe like 2 or 3 people after me.
I think so, yeah.
And I thought you were doing pretty good at first. Like I was like, this guy's gonna cook. Like
no.
Dude, like, cause I don't want to tell people your material, but you have like this joke about like a Spanish person, talking about how you look like somebody you know, whatever, and like that's a funny fucking bit, And
they were
and they were just not having it, and I'm like, but this is funny, And I didn't even know you. I wasn't like, I didn't know the joke prior. I didn't know like where you were going with it. I was just like, this is like, you do this voice within the bit. It's just like really fucking funny, and it just wasn't. It wasn't good.
Wasn't a good night for America that night.
Wasn't good. And then you get off, and I didn't meet you. I didn't meet you then. I met you the next night. I had a gig at Backyard Comedy Club.
David Ward, yeah.
And I show up, and as soon as I walk into the bar, you were standing at the bar getting a beer or a drink or whatever, and then you look at me and you go, "Hey, weren't you at a Comedy Store?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I go, "I got booed off." And then I go, "You got booed off too?" And you go, "Yeah." And I was like, "Come on, let's get a beer." And that was it, dude. We hung out like almost every night after that. Pretty much.
I went to McDonald's, went to that Blues place.
Yeah.
That was
That night we went to the Blues place.
That was the night we went to the Blues place. Okay,
yeah. And then everything closes at like 1 a.m. there,
which was we were both complaining about.
Which is so bizarre. Like London is like one of those places where you're like, oh, I'm in London, like things are popping.
This is the New York of Europe,
and it's not.
It's not.
I think what I've realized since like leaving, like anytime I leave New York, like the only places that come to mind that can really compare in terms of like bar scenes is like, I'm from Fort Lauderdale, Miami.
Okay,
like that's 24/7.
Yeah,
you can party 24/7 there. And New Orleans.
I was gonna say New Orleans.
New Orleans and Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Vegas. Those are like the only places.
So Vegas is a type of sadness.
It's like yeah. Vegas. I don't really like Vegas. It's like not.
I went back to Vegas earlier last year, and around this time, when they have that Consumer Electronics Show.
Yeah.
I had to do something for a job, some just weird random job someone gave me.
Right.
They were like, "Oh, you want to go fly to Vegas for like $450? You just got to deliver this thing." So I had to go to Long Island.
All that for $450?
Like $450. They pay for everything. $450. They're like, just do it. I'm like, fuck it. It's one day. Whatever. I'll do it. Fly there. I get there. It's like 2 a.m. And then it's whatever the hotel is above Circus Circus. There's like a new one that wasn't there when I was a kid. It's a nice one though.
In Circus Circus?
Near Circus Circus.
Oh, because I've stayed at Circus Circus.
That's a hellhole.
That's a hellhole.
Yeah.
$30 a night though.
I walk past Circus Circus, and it's 2 a.m. at night, and the only place that opens is Denny's.
Yeah.
Right near Circus Circus on the strip.
And there's a McDonald's there.
And there's a McDonald's, but I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go to Denny's.
Yeah, go to Denny's.
They're paying for everything.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, I'm walking past a guy doing a crack deal. And I kind of felt ashamed. I was like, damn, bro, my bad. I didn't mean to interrupt, like, you know, what you got going here. Because it was like they were just out and open on Circus Circus. But yeah, Vegas is the saddest. 24 hours though, whatever you want to do.
24 hours, you can do anything.
It's there, yeah. You want to buy crack? Circus Circus?
Yeah.
That's a kids' hotel, by the way.
Yeah. Isn't it the kids' hotel?
Circus Circus is the kids' hotel.
For real? You know they have a 13th floor.
They do?
Circus Circus has a 13th floor.
I thought that was like no go for buildings.
That their building was established, I think, before that superstition was like a thing.
Really?
Yeah.
But yeah, Circus Circus has the roller coaster and the arcade.
I don't think that's in service anymore.
It's gone.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. They have that. Well, I only know about Circus Circus because I used to live in LA.
Yeah.
And then my friends and I, for my birthday, we were like, oh, let's go to Vegas for the day.
Yeah.
Because you can just do that when you live in LA.
5 hours.
You just drive.
Drive there, drive back.
Yeah. Well, it's really 3.5.
I mean, how fast do you drive?
But I mean, but like that I-15 is a shit show. One car gets into an accident, it's a 7-hour drive instantly.
Yeah.
And so, with my buddies and I, we woke up early. Like we're gonna wake up early on Brand's birthday.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll get the hotel. I found a hotel. I just typed in Vegas hotels, and Circus Circus comes up. It was like $30, $30 deal, whatever. We show up, and. I get there, and the guy at the front is like, he's like, you know how when you check in at a Vegas hotel, they give you, because the hotels are so big, they have to give you like a map to kind of show you how to get to the room.
This tower.
Yeah. So
not the crack tower, but the,
yeah,
where the roller coaster used to be tower.
So this is what he did. He shows me all the towers, and he's like, okay, so we're here. And I said, yes. And he goes, okay, just making sure you checked in, you got the $30 deal. And I was like, yeah. He goes, okay. So we're here. And he goes, and so we have another property that's all the way over here. he goes, now when I say property, it's actually an RV park.
That's crazy.
And I was like, so we're staying in an RV? And he's like, precisely. And he goes, but for an extra $20, you can stay right here in the casino.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, done deal. He goes, oh, he's like, okay, I just had to ask. I didn't know if you'd be. I go, of course, I'd like that upgrade for $20.
Yeah, who wants to go to meth land?
Yeah. I don't want to stay at an RV park. I don't want to be at Circus Circus, much less an RV park at Circus Circus.
That's funny.
Dude, and we stayed there, and we got into the elevator, and I think we stayed on like, had to be like, if they have like 20-something floors, we stayed on like floor like 19, but then when you get in the elevator, they had a floor 13. and we could not believe that.
Yeah, I've never seen that before in my life.
Yeah.
Vegas is a scary place, man.
Dude, yeah, very scary place. That Eric Myers, a comedian from Florida who passed away, he had a
he's at the Comedy Store.
Yeah. He had a really funny fucking joke about Circus Circus. I think it was just a riff. It's on YouTube. You gotta check it out. He's riffing about it at the Laugh Factory in Vegas.
Yeah.
And it's just the funniest fucking thing. He's like, they have a gift shop. He goes, give me the fucking koozie that says I didn't stay at Circus Circus.
Man, I'm telling you, when I was a kid growing up in LA, that's where we wanted to stay.
Really?
As kids, we wanted to stay at Circus Circus.
Because of the roller coaster.
Because of the roller coaster, it had everything kids want. And I think maybe one year my mom was like, okay, you guys can stay at Circus Circus. But never again. She never let us. And I've gone back to Vegas multiple times since I think I was 10 or 13, all the way through. I've stayed everywhere but Circus Circus. Horrible place. Worst place ever was called the Imperial Palace. People know. The Imperial Palace was famous because of its smell.
Really?
Yeah, it was like behind Harrah's or wherever the fuck that place was.
Yeah.
But Imperial Palace, they blew up. I stayed at Hooters. That was crazy. I stayed at the worst place to stay. It's not bad. It's cheap. But you don't want to. I'll just say this. I got drunk one night and I walked back from the Strip to the Palace Station. You ever heard of the Palace Station?
No.
Off the Strip. It's like a train setup type of thing. And I was like, my friends were going to Caesar's.
Okay.
Or whatever. Julie, that's what it is, right? Caesar's Palace?
Yeah, Caesar's Palace.
And I was drunk and I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to walk home. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, I'm walking past a strip club and there's a guy sitting in like a Honda Accord and he rolls down his window. And I noticed he has a Circuit City shirt. Okay. And I remember seeing this thinking like, well, Circuit City's been out of business for like 5 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why does he have that shirt? And he rolls down the window. He's like, hey, you need a ride home? And I was like, no, I'm good. He's like, you sure? I'm a big guy.
Yeah.
I've never had this experience of like,
yeah.
Now, I wasn't sure if it was like he was trying to come on to me and have sex with me or to wear my skin. Yeah. And I ran the rest of the way back to the Palace Station, which is like a mile. And again, I'm just running down the fucking highway to get to the Palace Station. I don't think I've been back to Vegas since this.
Since that, you got traumatized.
Since then, I was like, all right, I'm good.
And running down the Strip isn't like just a straight run. It's like you run and then you got to go up a flight of stairs.
Yep.
And then you got to go up down a flight of stairs. So it's like kind of like a little obstacle course.
You're like, how do I get out of here?
Yeah, because the whole Strip is like connected by like different like overpasses and like all this stuff.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I remember the Hooters Hotel too.
You did it. You stayed there.
I didn't stay there, but my first time in Vegas, we stayed at the Link, and I remember like going to Vegas and just seeing like all the places, and we drove past the Hooters Hotel, and I was like, no fucking way. That shut down.
Hooters is shut down?
They shut it down, yeah.
Excalibur, is that still there?
I think so.
Okay, wow, Hooters.
Yeah.
That was a cheap one.
Yeah.
That was a cheap one.
Yeah, Hooters is gone. Circus is still there.
I don't know how.
Yeah, I don't know how either.
I guess that's like a halfway house now. It's like the 13th floor is like, oh, talk to Tony. You can get some crack.
Dude, yeah. Those places are crazy. Yeah, Harrah's is still there. Harrah's is like a nice chain, but you think, but in Vegas it doesn't stand close to like any of the other places. No. You know, Trump's place. I don't even know how
he sold it.
No. But they don't even have a casino. They wouldn't give him a gambling, a sports betting license. Yeah. So Trump's like the only hotel I think in Vegas where you can't gamble.
And he's also not like really on the Strip. He's behind.
He's behind. He's like behind like Treasure Island.
Yeah. Because I got lost in Treasure Island, couldn't figure out how to get out. And
you've just been lost in like all these hotels.
I've been. This is when I used to drink.
Oh, okay.
So I would.
You're sober
drunk.
now.
I just don't drink. Like
yeah.
Now I don't drink. If I somewhat like a wedding or something like that, I'll drink and get drunk.
Yeah.
But like a special occasion.
Yeah.
Okay, if I'm in England, someone's like, I bought you a drink. I'll drink the drink.
Yeah.
But back then, I was just like...
Whatever you got.
Yeah, well, why not drink? We're in fucking Vegas.
You're walking down Vegas with like, you know how people are like strapped up with like those like tall ass like yardsticks?
The what is it?
Fat Tuesdays or whatever?
The Fat Tuesday, Hard Rock.
Yeah.
That thing. I'm got the big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what you do.
It's crazy.
Vomiting everywhere.
Senor Frogs.
Yeah, I vomit, but I'm gonna make it.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
No, vomiting to me was like, it became like this. I used to be scared of vomiting until college.
Yeah.
And then I saw like people would do it just to rally. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Like vomiting's actually, it helps.
Yeah, vomiting.
Just means you can go all night.
I vomited a lot of places. I vomited at backyard shows. I vomited at, what was the worst place? It was somebody's engagement party I vomited on. And a Marine helped me get back down the mountain. I'll never forget that. He was like, let's go to the top of this mountain. We go to the top of that mountain. At this point, I had drank a whole bottle of like Jack Daniels.
Really?
It was like one of those things where like, it was a bachelor party for the guy and the girl. And then the guys were all doing this weird thing where like they would take a chug of whiskey.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, fuck that. I could prove that I'm better than that. I was last.
And you chugged the whole bottle.
I chugged the whole bottle.
Yeah. And then
it was worth it.
Yeah. Because people thought you were cool.
They thought I was the man.
Yeah.
Like, he wouldn't have helped me down that mountain if I had just took a swig. But I did the whole thing. I'm drunk as shit. I mean, I'm really drunk, and I'm commenting. This is some weird place where apartment complex. Women are coming back. I'm commenting on how they look.
And you're killing. You're probably killing.
I'm killing to the point where I think even the Marine's girlfriend was like,
"Am I with the right guy?
Yeah, why am I with this Marine guy? I should be with this guy who talks like this to women." I should go back. Maybe I should drink a little.
Where was that at? Where was that party at?
That was somewhere in the valley, like Pasadena.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I haven't been back to Vegas for a fun trip in a long time.
I don't know. I'd go back to New Orleans first. I've been to New Orleans a lot. I've been to Vegas a lot. I'd go back to New Orleans in a heartbeat.
Trying to go back to New Orleans, but not during the summer, not during the humidity.
It's too hot.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah.
But December, I would go back.
I've been for December. December, it's kind of chilly there.
That's why I like it.
Yeah.
December is manageable.
Yeah.
I haven't been during Mardi Gras, though.
Oh, you never been?
I've never been to Mardi Gras.
Oh, my first time Mardi Gras. So my buddies and I, so we used to work in this marijuana grow house in college. That was our college job. So all of us were at work one day, and back then, Twitter and Instagram were like just starting to like really pop off.
Yeah.
So we were kind of like looking at videos while we were like growing weed, and this video popped off of like Mardi Gras. I was like, like first day of Mardi Gras pops off, whatever, like, and we're like, oh shit, like Mardi Gras is happening right now. And we went to school in Tallahassee at Florida State, so it was like only like a 5.5 hour drive.
It's about your Vegas.
To get to New Orleans. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
To get to New Orleans, it was nothing. And you gain an hour once you get there. So like you go back in time pretty much. And so we were like, if we like, let's just say we left right after work, we can get there by like 8 o'clock and we still have all night to party, and then we could hang out there tomorrow, and like the next day we come home.
And this is no hotel. You're like, I'm gonna sleep in the car.
Well, because if you wait, like Mardi Gras hotels, if you try to get a hotel right now for Mardi Gras, you won't be able to find one.
January.
And if you do find one, it's at the Ritz.
I got you.
Or like something adjacent to the Ritz.
Or that hotel apartment complex that just
at some guy's house. The guy from Circuit City is gonna be like, you come stay with me, and you're like, I know you.
You need a ride?
Yeah. So we were like, all right, where are we gonna stay? And then I was like, I had a Nissan Altima at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I'd already put this test,
Ultimate
put this to the
car,
test.
But yeah.
It's a hood rat car. Yeah.
Sure.
But it had a lot of space.
Yeah.
So I was like, if we put down all my seats in the back and then like, scoot up the front seat, like we could, and put like a mattress topper in the back, like a foam mattress topper.
Yeah.
We could easily sleep 3 of us back there, and then 2 people could sleep in the front and the driver's seat and the passenger seat. And we could park it outside of, like, one of our buddies was like, my girlfriend lives there.
Yeah.
And he was like, like you guys could just park outside of her apartment.
Smart.
And I was like, she wouldn't let us like crash inside. He's like, no, absolutely not.
That's fucked. Yeah.
So he ended up coming on the trip. He stayed with her inside her apartment.
Bastard.
And then all of us slept in my car outside, and then my other buddy, he brought his truck, and then they slept in his truck bed. So it was like, we literally just had like 2 cars parked outside. We were sleeping out there. Like,
no cop showed up?
No, actually the next day, because we would tailgate, because for Mardi Gras, like, you don't just go right to Bourbon, like, and we were in college, so we were like, the girl went to Tulane, so she was like, I'll bring
she went to Tulane. Okay.
Yeah, so she was like, I'll bring you to like Tulane parties. So we're like, all right, sweet, because like Mardi Gras is like a whole fucking it's crazy. It's hard to explain, but she was like, I'll bring you to Tulane, whatever, and like, so we were like pre-gaming outside of her apartment, like playing beer pong, whatever. And then I was peeing in a bush next to my buddy, and these cops showed up, and they were like, can't you guys like even try to like hide your cocks? And then as I'm peeing, I'm like, I'm sorry, officer. And he goes, you're still peeing. And I was like, dude, like, what do you want me to do? Like,
we can't stop.
I can't just stop this. And he goes, dude, put your fucking dick away and don't let me see it again. And I was like, my bad, dude, whatever.
That's hilarious.
Dude, yeah. And then after like partying at Tulane, like you go to Bourbon Street, and I don't know if have you ever walked through snow? Like trudging through like crazy snow.
Yeah.
So picture that, but you're trudging through beads.
Oh my God.
It's like a sea of beads like on the street. Like at least like 6 inches of beads like on the ground. And you're just trudging through them on the street, and it's packed to the gills, and you're just going into every bar, because in Bourbon Street is just like, it's just there's a bar every 10 feet.
Yeah.
And we would just walk around, we get super fucked up, went to just sing like karaoke, and we were traveling with like 18 people that ended up like meeting up with us there.
Oh fuck.
And we all went into like Cat's Meow. It's a great karaoke bar. And I remember we came outside, and this girl saw my buddy and she was hammered and she goes, "You," and he goes, "What?" And she slaps him across the face and he was like, "What the fuck was that?" We were all like, "What?" And then he looks over at this guy that was standing with her and he goes, "Can I ask you something?" And the guy goes, "What?" And he goes, "Are you her boyfriend?" And the guy goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "I'm sorry, man." And he cocks one back and then knocks the guy out.
It's like a Blues Brother interaction.
Yeah. He's like, "I couldn't punch her, I had to hit you." Dude, yeah, so it was just literally like 2 days of that. Just like chaotic. Yeah, just like, it's just like, because like the thing is about New Orleans, what most people don't know, if you've never been, it's like, you can go on any day. Yeah. And it's like that. Yeah. It's just more amplified. Yeah. During Mardi Gras.
And there's like, I don't know if there's such a thing as like a minor in New Orleans. Like you'll go to bars and you'll be like, I'm pretty sure that's a 14-year-old kid up there playing the tuba.
Yeah. And they're like, but you don't know Jake? Yeah. He's really good.
And he is really good. But you're like, it's a school night, bro.
And they're like, he's from the 9th Ward. Like his parents are meth heads.
He's good. Yeah.
He's better off here.
Are you kidding me? This kid's making like $200 tonight.
Yeah. And then you see those kids on the street playing like drums on like the Home Depot buckets. Yeah. And they're like, "Give me money." And you're like, "What are you doing?" Like, I don't even. Vegas is the same way. There was one time we were walking through Fremont Street and there was a guy just shimmying in a tutu. Like literally, like if you don't know Fremont Street, it's like old Vegas. And like, dude, he's literally shimmying in a tutu with a bucket of like a Home Depot bucket out in front of him. We're like, all you do is just shimmy? Like, is that?
That's my thing. I'm the shimmy guy.
That's it, man. That's it. I've been working my way up.
Yeah, so, old Vegas is scary. Don't go there either.
Dude, yeah. All the wedding chapels and stuff like that.
Yeah, but also like the old Vegas is like the cigarette smoke is like burned in.
Oh yeah. You can't get rid of that.
You can't get rid of that. But also the walls too. If you ever get a chance to see them, you'll be like, oh my god.
Yeah. Like people got murdered.
Yeah, people got murdered here.
Yeah.
Fact. Yeah. And then you get to see the old gamblers where it's like,
oh yeah. Well, have you ever been to Reno?
Yeah, I've been to Reno.
Oh my God, Reno is sad.
Biggest little city in the world.
Bro, and I thought going to Reno, I was like, because we had to go there to go to Lake Tahoe because we were going to go skiing in Heavenly. Yeah. And so we were in Reno and we were like, oh, let's go check it out for the day. And like we walked around, dude, it is a sad place.
It is, yeah.
I don't know what I expected.
I love it. I actually like Reno.
You do? Yeah.
Really? Yeah, because I know that's what it is. Right. Like no one tries to sell Reno as like, oh, you know, it's a great place and you're gonna love it. It's like when you go there, you go, yeah, you couldn't even make it in Vegas, could you? You had to come to Reno.
You had to come to Reno. Yeah. You gotta no. If you go to Reno after you go to Vegas, people are like, oh, you have problems.
Yeah. You're blacklisted from every casino out there, aren't you? You can't get in. You're like, yeah, this is it.
My mom is like, she's not a real gambler, but like she has like that superstition in her. You know what I mean? Like you go to Vegas, like you lose. Like, no, like you go into Vegas to lose. Yeah. But like my mom is like, so we have casinos back home in South Florida. Oh, so we have the Hard Rock, which is like, I don't know if you've seen pictures, but we have like this gigantic guitar in the middle of like Fort Lauderdale. That's like our Eiffel Tower. It's just hotel. It's a guitar shaped hotel. Yeah. It's crazy. And my mom thinks, she's like, we can't go to the Hard Rock. And I'm like, why? She goes, because we're not going to win at the Hard Rock. It's too nice. She goes, we got to go to the Big Easy casino down the street. Big Easy.
They'll let you win.
Yeah. She goes, people always talk about winning at Big Easy. I'm like, Mom, it's all luck. And she goes, no. There's something going on at Big Easy that a lot of people aren't seeing at the Hard Rock. And I'm like, you're just an addict.
Yeah. If you're a gambler, it's all about feel.
Yeah.
Like some days I won't even, like I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit of a FanDuel guy with basketball. Yeah. So there's some days I won't even touch the phone because I go, today's not a good day. Today's not my day. I just like
you just feel it.
Yeah.
It's intuition.
It's from and it means nothing at all.
Exactly.
But like today is the national championship game for college. Okay. And today, I'll be like, all right, it's time to lay that 14-leg parlay.
Are you gonna do that?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
who do you have in the championship?
I want Washington to win.
I like Penix.
Yeah. So I don't want to say anything other than that. I just want Washington to win. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. I'm not a really bad gambler, but with basketball, I will like.
I think you have to be dumb to win in gambling.
You do. You have to ignore the logical part of your head. Yeah. Where it says like, you know, minus 1,500. You have to just be like, that means nothing. Right. I know. They don't. Vegas doesn't know. I know. Yes. I watch this team religiously. Yes. I watch every basketball podcast. Yes. I know what's going on. This is a revenge game. Yeah. You have to pretend like you're the psychologist and you're like, this is pseudoscience, baby. You can't really try and make this into a real thing. I know.
And then
you're like, you know, what's the big deal? You got to lose sometimes to win, especially if you're a comic. You're like,
yeah, you know all about that.
Either that, you just don't care about failure. It depends on how much you bet, though. If you're betting like your house,
That's true. Because I'll see some people like post like pictures of like, you know, their betting tickets.
Their betting ticket,
yeah, and it's like $5 to win like
5,000.
Yeah, or something like that.
That's how you get to like 14, 15.
And I'm like, well, where the fuck?
Yeah.
And then, yeah. So it's like the 14.
Yeah, you got to set up like this guy scores 65 yards. This guy gets 83 yards.
Some crazy.
You got to stack these tickets.
Numbers. Yeah.
$5, that's safe.
Yeah.
Long as you're not like, I had a friend who was really bad. He's a comedian.
Yeah.
And I have like all the ESPN, YouTube TV, whatever. He would come over just to hang out to be like, do you have women's tennis? Can we turn that on real quick? Bet on some Russian lady. And I'm like, bro, you got a problem. Because it's normal to be like, all right, Harrison Barnes, does he have 6 threes?
Yeah.
God, yes. That I get. But
yeah.
Women's tennis?
Yeah.
And it's not the U.S. Open?
Yeah.
You got a problem.
You're a problem. Yeah. During the pandemic was when I kind of flirted the most with gambling. Got like a bookie that my buddy hooked me up with. I still have the login information. Sometimes he'll hit me up for like free play. He's like, yo, let me get your free play. Like you haven't played in a while. So like the bookie will give you some, you know, tokens or whatever. And during the pandemic, we were bored. We were home, whatever. And so we would bet on like Madden simulations.
That's hilarious.
It was 50-50, no matter what. But the funniest part about it was like the community, like the live chat on the Twitch stream. So it was like, just say the Patriots were playing against like the Chargers or the Chiefs. Yeah. And like Patriots versus Chiefs, whatever. And then like, just say Brady throws an interception. And then some guy in the community is like, Brady's not really feeling it today. And it's like, dude, it's a video game. It's a video game, you fucking psycho.
Yeah.
But they were so exciting. It was like, you just never knew it was going to happen. But then I knew my buddy, I started realizing my buddy had a problem because he was like, we're like, I don't want to say his name, but I was like, buddy, what are you gonna bet on today? And he was like, doing Russian ping pong today.
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah, Russian ping pong. Yeah.
Russian ping pong, Korean soccer.
Yeah.
Just like things that you didn't know shit about.
Fighting in a phone booth.
Yes.
Flap competitions. Stuff like that where you go, you can bet on this?
Yeah, but I don't even think it's on like DraftKings. It's like stuff that you have to get like the website that we were using was like some
dark web.
You would have thought it was like a porn site if you were like, what is this? If I showed you this URL, you'd be like, I've never seen that porn site.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's problematic. Yeah, that's when you're like, okay.
I'm the type of gambler where like you said, like I'm fun for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know when to pull out.
Oh,
and then if I stay in, then I get superstitious.
Yeah.
And then I become that type of gambler and then I lose it all. Like on New Year's, I was playing craps because craps is my game.
Yeah.
And I was up. I was like doing good, whatever.
Yeah.
And then this new shooter, they call him shooters, like the guy who rolled the dice. And this new shooter gets on the board and he was just like, the way he was holding, I look at my buddy and go, this guy's fucking us. I can tell. And my buddy goes, dude, don't say it. And then dude, he just rolls a 7. And my buddy looks at me and goes, dude, get off the table.
Exactly.
And I was like, I didn't want to say it. That's just the way he made me feel.
That's what gambling is about.
Yeah.
Gambling, like, you know, they have women's intuition. There's gambler's intuition.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, when your mom said that, I'm like, yes, she's got the force.
Yeah,
like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Her midichlorians are activated. She knows what's going on. She's got to get those credits out there. That's why I'm like, I understand what they're saying about, I just don't feel it right now. Or like, this place doesn't have a right vibe. And I'm like, I get it, man. Like,
yeah.
I knew one guy who had the worst luck at gambling. He used to, again, I haven't done this yet, but I kind of want to go. The Aqueduct.
Where's that?
That's in Brooklyn.
Okay.
So
is that a casino?
No, it's like horse racing.
Oh, okay.
Or like, I think they do dogs too.
Okay.
But I'm like, I kind of want to go for the summer and pretend to be that guy with the Cuban shirt.
Yeah.
Straw hat.
Yeah.
Start betting on dogs.
You got your papers. You got your papers. Like looking at all the rankings.
So I know a guy he's a bit older. So he went in the 70s.
Yeah.
Whatever. And he went to gamble. First time gambling. He bet on the horse. And his horse died in the race.
No way.
I swear to God, he told me this.
What do you do? Like have a heart attack?
It had a heart attack. And it died in the middle of the race. And he went home. And his dad was like, what'd you do today? He's like, went to the Aqueduct. And I bet on a horse. And then he was like, what happened? He said it died. And his dad like put down his paper and looked at him and said, this is a sign from God that you should never gamble ever again. Yeah, you're going to have the worst luck. On his first time, a horse died.
Yeah.
That was one of the funniest stories I've ever heard. Rob Tenenbaum, that's who his name is. But
is he still gambling?
No.
He's never gambled to the date.
He took his dad's advice. He's like, yeah, if my horse died of a heart attack in the middle of the race. Because I was like, do you get your money back? Like, you know, if it's someone doesn't show up or something like that, they're like, okay, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
But he was like, no, he ran part of the race. It just reared up and died. I was like, wow, I can't believe I've never seen that before in my life.
That's insane.
Yeah, I'm almost kind of going to be like, well, this can't happen twice.
Never. No, lightning doesn't strike twice.
Yeah,
but the next time he breaks his leg, and then they got to shoot the horse.
That would be crazy. We're just all sitting there like,
because that's what they do, right? Don't they? If they break like a limb or whatever, they have to.
It depends if it's a stud.
Yeah.
Like if it's like, whatever, Seabiscuit or whatever, the Preakness, whoever that big horse that won the Kentucky Derby not too long ago.
Yeah.
That one, they'll be like, no, we got to preserve this guy. Just let him have sex with
whatever.
Female
because
horses.
like they have good genes.
They got winter genes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Gambling really, like, even the guys who are like the billionaires are like, well, he's got winter genes.
He's got winter genes. Let's keep him alive.
Yeah, this horse is special.
That's great.
Their kids never win.
Yeah.
There's no lineage of like, well, this horse was from Dog Lady, and he wins. There's no pedigree.
That's kind of.
There's no Barry Bonds Jr. down there.
That's kind of like what you could say it's like Bronny James coming into the NBA.
Yeah.
Everybody's betting on this guy to be like the next LeBron.
And it's only gonna set up against him to fail.
Because no matter, like, he could have one bad game and they're like, well, you're not like your dad.
Come on, your dad would have dunked that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're gonna shoot a three?
Yeah.
Your dad didn't start shooting threes until he was 40.
Yeah.
What's going on here? That's why I'm like, that's horrible for him. But
do you like live sporting events? Is that like your thing? You like?
I love basketball.
Yeah.
Don't really like. I like baseball. I used to. Baseball now is not as good with the pitch clock.
Okay.
Baseball used to be like.
Oh, they have a pitch clock now.
They have sped the game up.
Wow, I don't blame them.
So this is my.
They made that for me, by the way, because I was like, we got to speed this up.
So this is my thing with baseball, that a lot of people, I think, whatever, it doesn't matter. Baseball is not a sport that is meant to be watched on TV.
Okay.
Baseball is a sport that is meant to be listened to on a radio. And that's it. We've had it's been around since the radio, and that's how it's supposed to be done. You're supposed to be doing 8 other things and then hear a crack of a bat and go, oh, wait, what's going on?
Yeah.
That's it. But they've tried to update it for Sports Center and be like, oh, this guy hit a home run. Well, you might see this exciting play. Now, if you're at the park, that's supposed to be a whole day thing. Like you take the kids or whatever, you take your family, you go to the ballpark, you enjoy it. Whatever. You can read a newspaper, because even the game, it takes a while. But now, I'm just saying this, baseball is never going to update to be cooler or faster. Or like basketball. Basketball is for people with ADHD.
Right.
So this way.
Yeah.
Tennis. It's like
hockey. Same thing. Yeah.
Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah.
Baseball is just one of those things. It was invented in like 18 whatever. And that's fun for 1800s.
Yeah.
It's never going to update to this time. Doesn't matter who you put out there. Unless you got a guy with a gun. That's, like he can shoot the ball before it lands. That's a home run. That's the only way baseball will be like, oh, wow, this is fun. Like, can he shoot the ball before it lands? Yeah.
I just love it. I love that your only suggestion for like if baseball could be better is like you got to add guns.
You got to add a gun.
You got to add firearms.
If there's a sport to add a gun to, it's baseball.
Yeah. Kind of like skeet shooting.
Yeah. That would make the game way more fun to watch a guy be like, wow, Ichiro almost would have had that one. If he didn't shoot it midair.
The Japanese are so good with shotguns.
Oh, they would have been.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, baseball is, and it's also kind of a traveling sport to go see ballparks all around.
People do that.
Yeah,
people do that. They like I don't even know anything about the Baltimore Orioles, but I know Camden Yard.
Yeah.
Or Camden Yards, whatever you want to call it. I don't
Same thing, like, I don't know anything about Cincinnati, but I know the Great American Ballpark.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Or like, I don't know anything. What's the other one? McCovey Cove with Barry Bonds, where he was hitting the balls over the, and people were out there like trying
on
to
the
get
boats.
It. Yeah, on the boats trying to get it. So like in a way, baseball is like, or because arenas with basketball and all these other things, you only see the inside.
Right.
But baseball, most people who don't have or Toronto, they have the dome.
Yeah.
It's like a way of to get it to know a city without really knowing a city. For me, sports is the easiest way to talk to someone I don't know, but because I know their sport, like when we go to England, even France, really.
You know how to talk about football.
I know how to talk about like, oh, PSG, this team kind of sucks, or Lyon or Marseille. And I'll know there's some places in France because of the teams. Yeah. And I'll know England, same thing. Oh, what are you a fan of? Oh, I'm Crystal Palace. And I go, oh, Crystal Palace. Roy Hodgson again, it's never going to work. Yeah. And immediately, that's an instant bond with a person.
It helps you get to know people right off the bat.
Right away, because they go, and they like that too if Americans know their sport. they kind of go like, oh, you're at least paying attention to shit outside of you.
Yeah.
That's the thing I find when I travel. People want to know you're not like
just there to just fuck around.
Yeah.
Like you're there, like you're kind of like immersing yourself in like a way.
Yeah, we are, but I also know a little bit about,
yeah,
you know, London, or I know a little bit about like, I think last time I was there, April.
Mm-hmm.
It might have been, I think it was April, or maybe it was the year before that, but the season started.
Mm-hmm. And
they were like, this was crazy. I never knew this, but like, you know, we have sports, but we don't really have what they have.
No.
They have culture.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. Like, you just wake up on a Sunday or something and you'll just hear grown men singing. And you're like, what is going on? Like, has the war started again? And you're like, what? Like everywhere you go, you just see grown men like singing songs. And you're like, this is fun.
Yeah.
I want to be a part of this.
I noticed that we went to Wembley for the Community Shield.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we saw Arsenal play Man City. And
that's huge.
That's where I first learned about that.
Yeah.
Because I'd never been to a football game before. Like a real football game.
Yeah.
Like there were times where I was a kid.
A proper match.
Yeah, like never been to like a proper match. Yeah, like Barcelona and Real Madrid would come to Miami years ago when I was a kid.
Oh yeah,
and like they'd play like their little exhibition games.
Yeah.
But like the star players like wouldn't really play for that long, or like if they did, they played for like a second, whatever. And then yeah, like that was our own. And Americans like we don't care. Maybe Miami people are different. There's a lot of Spanish culture, so everybody was like, oh, okay, like this is great.
It's hard to care here.
It's hard to care.
It is.
But then you get over there and it's like, there's a bar called Box Park right outside of Wembley.
Oh, wow.
And we were walking in, and we had just decided to root for Arsenal.
Yeah.
We were just like, outside of our hostel was a little market, and we were like, let's get some Arsenal stuff.
Yeah.
We got like beanies and scarves, and we
Gunners.
walked into this bar because we saw a bunch of Arsenal people going in there, and then there was a guy with his son, and they were wearing Man City stuff, and the bar bouncer was like, oh, I'm sorry, this isn't for Man City fans. You guys are on the other side.
Yeah.
This is for Arsenal fans only. And I was like, oh, it's like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then you get into this bar and everybody's just singing.
Yeah.
It's like song, 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 song. And then North London forever.
Yeah.
Whatever the weather. And I'm like trying to listen so I could sing along.
Yeah.
And I remember looking over at this kid and I go, what are they saying? Like, what song is this? And he goes, mate, it's North London forever. And I'm like, oh, right. And he goes, aren't you an Arsenal fan? And I was like, yeah, just forgot. And apparently, like, that guy who wrote that song for Arsenal.
Specifically for Arsenal.
For Arsenal.
They'll come up with songs when a new player comes.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Liverpool is whatever is one team I watch, and they'll be like, you know, Super Bobby's for blah, blah, blah. And you'll be like, because you're home here.
Yeah.
We don't have that.
Right.
So you have to like almost go and reach out and be like, what did they talk? Like, what's this new song they come out? Or like, you know, Arsenal when they play Tottenham, because there's like 16 teams in London.
Yeah.
I had to find that out, where I was like, you hear Tottenham.
Yeah.
And then you go like, okay, that must not be in London.
Right.
And then you find out, no, it's like, it's in London. It's like actually right here. And then Arsenal is like 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, whatever. But they sing a song like Arsenal is like, Tottenham, shit.
Yeah.
And then they got it with other countries. Like when England plays Germany, they'll be like, we won the war. Which is one of the greatest flexes ever.
Yeah,
just
that's
sing
great.
that constantly.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I gotta be a part of this. This is different. Like the closest we have to their enthusiasm is college sports.
Yeah, college sports get pretty crazy.
That's like, and that's because for us, like back in the day, college was the top level. Like it was like to be a college star was everything. And then when you went to the pros, people were like,
whatever.
Well, this isn't really a job.
Yeah.
So why don't you go work at the iron factory?
Yeah.
And then later on, they were like, wait, pro sports can be a thing?
Yeah.
But college was like, okay, this is believable. A 22-year-old kid who throws the ball for a living.
Yeah.
It wasn't until recently where we're like, hey, Tom Brady's 40 years old and he makes $7 billion.
And I love him. Yeah,
you love him.
Yeah, you're like, I love this 40-year-old man.
I would love to see this man go anywhere. I would love to see him come out of retirement, go to the Jets, and try as hard as he could.
Yeah.
But back then, they were like, no, it makes no fucking sense. Like,
well, that's why that movie Rudy makes so much sense too, because that's like a perfect depiction of like that whole pastime where it's just like, yeah, he was like a kid who just like, I remember growing up and being like, I watched Rudy and I'd ask my dad, I'd be like, oh, so he was like one of the best football players of all time. And he's like, no.
No.
He goes, that's what the whole movie's about.
Yeah.
Like, he was good for like a game.
Yeah.
And like, but it was the coolest moment ever. And that's
got
what
a
made
sack.
it special.
Yeah.
Yeah. He got a sack. Yeah. And he's like, and the whole team wouldn't play unless he played.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh. So he was like, good. And he's like, no. And I'm like, what? And he's like, it was a big deal back then. I'm like, who cares? Like, that wouldn't happen today.
No, you couldn't see that.
Dude, I remember when I was younger, I was like boycotting my own hockey team because my coach wasn't playing. No one would fucking turn in their jersey for me. They're like,
no,
Brand, guess you're not playing.
Lay it down on the ice.
Yeah.
Take the skates off.
I'm like, coach, I'm out. He's like, okay, see ya. You know what I mean?
One guy's got the skate to his wrist. If you don't get Brandon back in here, I swear to God.
Yeah, dude.
No.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Have you ever traveled for like something like that? Like for like a game, like specifically?
Travel for a game?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever gone far for a game to like see my team play somewhere else.
Or just like a team that you've always wanted to see.
No, because the closest we got was like we wanted to go to Spain, and we went to Spain, but that was when Madrid was elsewhere.
Okay.
We got unlucky, but we went to the stadium and do stadium tours at Madrid.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm not even kidding you, bro. This was like, it was the, you know how you go into those old churches when you're traveling?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
This was like, oh, God comes here. Like when God wants to play soccer, this is where he comes to play soccer.
Yeah.
This is it. Like it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have to come back here to see a game.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get tickets.
Yeah.
I will wear, I'm not even a Madrid fan.
You'll wear
but
it.
I know there. Yeah. I will not come in there wearing another team.
Why would you? I think that's the stupidest freaking thing ever.
Some people do that.
That's ridiculous.
Some people think shit is sweet out there. And I'm like, no. Whatever you want me to wear.
Yeah.
I'll keep my head down, and then I just want to experience that.
Yeah.
One of the greatest things I've ever seen was just the Santiago Bernabeu. That was like, wow. Yeah. I gotta come here again.
That's a cool way to look at it. We saw Camp Nou in Barcelona.
Camp Nou is nice.
Yeah.
But like,
it's not, yeah. Like it's fine.
Yeah, this place is like, I think it's, I don't know how many seats, like what, 70, 80,000, something like that.
It's crazy.
And you just like, the way the light shined on it, on the stadium, you were like, oh my God. And then you come in through like where they won all their championships. Yeah. And they have the most like, you know, championships. Cups, it's like the Lakers, they're the Yankees.
Yeah.
And you're just like, and it goes like, you know, from 1800.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh shit, this is like history.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And Real Madrid's never going to be like American sports where like the Lakers were in Minnesota.
Right.
There's no lakes in California.
Right.
Or Los Angeles.
Right.
Real Madrid is Madrid. It's never leaving. It can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
This is it.
That's the cool thing about football. Yeah. It's like that's the team.
If you support this place, you are from here. This is your place.
Yeah.
You can't be like, oh man, I wish they would, you know, Real Madrid in Germany. This would be great. You know what I mean? Like,
it's like, no. Yeah.
So I love that about like traveling and seeing like different stadiums or like,
yeah.
I don't know. That's one of my favorite things.
I also love that there's a big drinking culture that comes with those things, but you can't drink at the seats.
No.
You can't. Like, it's just like, you're just going to have to just sit there.
Yeah.
And if you want popcorn, maybe popcorn.
Yeah,
but
they
like,
get blasted though before.
They get blasted at the concessions.
Yeah.
That's what we noticed at Wembley.
Yeah.
But then people sneak beers in their pockets. But then by the time you get to your seat, your pants are soaked because you just spilled beer because they only give you it in cups.
They don't care. They're going to take their clothes off anyway.
Clothes off. Yeah. Yeah, we did.
Especially if their team wins. They're going to take their clothes off.
So it's like everybody's like fully immersed like in this game.
It's everything.
No one's paying attention to like anything else. Yeah.
It's the whole, like, if it's a town or whatever, it's like, you know, like, I don't know a lot of places, but like, you know, I know where Brighton is now because of Brighton Hove and whatever, just teams. And I'm like, that always, I feel like, ingratiates yourself to a place.
It also like helps you like understand people a little bit more, like Liverpool.
Oh yeah.
Like you see Liverpool, you're like Liverpool, you watch a Liverpool soccer game, you're like, all right.
Yeah.
Whatever. But then you meet a person with Liverpool and you're like, oh.
Yeah, I see what this is.
Oh, you guys are nuts.
Yeah.
You guys, and their accents are insane.
You're like, I don't know what you just said.
No idea. You met Kyle Legacy before, right?
Oh, yeah. Met him in Scotland, yeah.
Kyle Legacy's a great comic from Liverpool.
Yeah.
I think he lives in London. Or maybe he lives in Liverpool. I don't know. But he's a fucking
no one knows
job.
where. He just like peers up. Yeah, next time you see him, he's in New York. And you're like, what the fuck? Where you going?
Yeah, I saw him the other day. He's like, oh, I'm shooting a special, mate.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
I'm wearing a LeBron James jersey because I'm the king of comedy. I'm not even doing the right accent, but it's like, you're like, wait, what?
Yeah. He has a podcast called the LeBron James Podcast.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but you're from Liverpool. But the fact he's like, I love LeBron James. It's like, That's something like sports just translate everywhere.
Yeah, sports is like a good reason to get out of the house and go see the world.
And just immediately, oh, you like the same team? I like the same team.
Yeah.
Or your team sucks. I get to talk about your team.
Yeah. But it is funny how different we are compared to overseas about how we treat our sports. Like you can be a diehard Chargers fan.
Yeah, Chargers, yeah.
Whatever. And then, or Dodgers, whatever. And you walk into somebody's house who's like the antithesis of that.
Yeah.
And then
Giants,
they'd be like, oh, hey, Alex, good to see you. You know what I mean? But like over there, it's like my uncle he lives in Harlow, which is like outside of Essex.
Yeah.
And he's a big Tottenham guy. Diehard Tottenham.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like growing up, I'd go visit him outside of London. You know, we'd be hanging out, him and his buddies, and they're all Tottenham guys.
Yeah.
And then I told him, because a buddy of mine had told me when I went over there, he's like, hey, if you can, get me a Chelsea flag and bring it back. And I was at my uncle's house, and I was like, hey, by any chance, like, do you know where I can get a Chelsea flag? I got to buy one for my buddy Brian back home. And he goes, oh, God.
Yeah.
And but he was serious. I was like, what, Uncle Bob? And he's like, he's like, so I have this neighbor. He's like a couple doors down. We can go see him if you want, but I won't go inside.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what does that mean? And he goes, he has a lot of Chelsea stuff. He'll probably give you something if you ask nice. But I'll walk you to the door. I'll introduce you to him. I refuse to go inside. And I was like, really? He goes, yeah, I will not be anywhere near.
It's the cause of a lot of pain.
Causes a lot of pain, yeah. And I walked up to the guy's door, very nice guy, whatever. I was like, hey, and my Uncle Bob's like, hey, is my nephew Brandon, whatever. Like, and his buddy's a Chelsea fan. He wanted to see if he can get some Chelsea gear. He goes, oh, of course.
You know it hurt. Yeah. He's looking at him like, oh, I get you something,
And I brought the flag back to my Uncle Bob's house, and he was like, you put that thing back in your suitcase right now and don't let me see it for the rest of the time you're here. And I was like, I got it.
Because people don't understand. This is what the thing is with soccer, football, whatever you want to call it. Soccer games usually are low scoring.
Right.
Especially even back then. It's like, 0-1, 1-1, 3 is a lot in soccer.
Yeah.
If you lose 3-0, it's like, they'll be like, oh, you got trounced or whatever. So with soccer, the problem, I don't want to say the problem, but like the deal with soccer is you're basically waiting the whole time for one thing to happen. Mm-hmm. So you got a bunch of drunk, angry people who are waiting at least 90 minutes for something exciting to happen.
Yeah.
And by the time it happens, you're like, yeah, I'm going to stab somebody. They're like, go. You're like, yes. So you're waiting the whole time, and you just finally let it out. And then that's what I'm saying. Your uncle, who is a Tottenham fan, they've been bad for
a while.
Long
time. Yeah.
So he's watched a lot of Sundays of just waiting for something to happen, waiting for something.
And nothing.
Never happens. And he's like, you come, and he's like, oh, yeah, I got to get my friend a Chelsea thing. And Chelsea's a rich club. They had the Russian owner back then. And he's like, just brings back all that memories of like,
drama.
I wish I could stab somebody.
Yeah.
It's just like 90 minutes.
Or the time you probably did stab somebody.
Yeah, it's not losing. It's just like my team doesn't even fucking score, or like, like that pent up aggression. I would have burned your flag. I would have burned it. I wouldn't even let it in my house.
Yeah, that's how he
crazy.
was, dude. Yeah, big Tottenham guy. Yeah, I don't know. I've traveled for a game once. We traveled to, the first time I slept in my car ever was for the Stanley Cup in 2016.
The Blackhawks?
Or 2017.
Was it the Blackhawks?
No, it was Penguins versus Predators, Nashville.
Oh.
It was the first time Nashville had ever been like put on the map as like a hockey town.
Yeah.
Basically what happened was, so the first two games were in Pittsburgh, and the Predators have never been good.
Yeah.
Then the next two games, games 3 and games 4, came back to Nashville.
Yeah.
And the Predators won game 3, and then there was like a riot outside on Broadway. It's like 300. It was like record breaking like numbers, like 300,000 people stormed Broadway.
That's hilarious.
And just like the bars were going crazy. People were walking around the streets with like catfish. Like, you know how like in Detroit, like they have octopus.
Yeah.
And they throw those on the rink. Well, in Nashville, they had catfish. And like you saw footage of like Titans players inside suites during the game, pouring beers down. Like I think Marcus Mariota was the quarterback at the time.
Yeah.
Mariota and the boys are literally in a suite with a bunch of catfish that they got from like the local fish market. Gigantic catfish.
That's hilarious.
And they're pouring Bud Lights down the catfish's mouth and then chugging them on screen at the. It was electric. It was just electric city. And then they got the term Smashville that was like born.
Oh yeah.
That weekend, that was like when it was born. And yeah, all the footage from like the chaos that was happening on the streets like was on all over Twitter. So my buddy hit me up like the next day and he goes, dude, we should go for like game 4.
Yeah, you should.
We should just go.
Yeah.
And I was like, Nashville's like 7 hours away from Tallahassee. Like, we're not going to get a hotel. Let's just stay there for the night. We'll sleep in my car.
Yeah.
So like, it's exactly what we did. We drove up.
Dude, that's awesome.
And we got to a Dick's Sporting Goods really early in the morning, and we bought Predators like shirts.
Yeah.
Which we're not Predators fans by trade. We're Florida Panthers guys, but we're
when
like,
in Rome,
fuck it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the difference also between American sports. Is like we'll just sell our teams out just to make sure we're having a good time.
Yeah, fuck that.
It's like my team's not even near this fucking championship, but we're here to party. You know what I mean? We went to Dick's, got the shirts, whatever, went back to Broadway. Didn't even go to the game. We just literally partied on Broadway all night. And then by the time we got by the time the game like got to like the second period, we were like blacked out. Like there's a video of us like just sleeping at the bar. My head's like on a roll of paper towels.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And then we literally got in my car like at like 3 in the morning and just drove home.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever traveled. That was Oh, and then I traveled home this past summer for the Stanley Cup because the Florida Panthers made the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, I can't miss that. That's my whole life.
Yeah, it's everything.
Yeah, I can't miss that.
I've had some comparable. Closest to me, but COVID happened was when the Dodgers won the series.
That's also like another thing too. Like you grew up in LA. You're used to winning.
The Lakers, yes. The Kings.
Yeah.
We didn't have a football team, so when the Rams won, that was like that was crazy.
Yeah.
So we were like, wow, that's pretty fast.
Yeah.
But the Dodgers, they hadn't won since '88.
Right.
So it was like, are we ever gonna win? Like
baseball World Series, like that means so much.
Yeah, it meant like
I remember watching the Cubs in 2018.
Oh yeah. That's a place I want to go.
When was that? 2016?
That was
2017?
No, that was later than that. I think like 2018.
Yeah, I think it was 2018.
Yeah, I want to see Wrigley.
Yeah.
And then I want to see also. I've been to Boston, but I want to see Fenway.
I've been to Fenway for it was 2016. Yeah.
It was 2016. Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I've been to Wrigley to just go to Wrigleyville. Wrigleyville's fun.
That's what I'm saying. I want to go just to experience.
Yeah,
that.
there's a bar up there called Sluggers.
Yeah.
And it's like right outside the stadium, and like you can drink at the bottom, and then up top there's like a batting cage, and you can go from like easy, medium, hard to like go hit balls while you're. So it's the worst idea for like a bar.
Yeah.
Because you're just boozing, and then you're like, I want to go hit balls.
Why not?
And you're like, next thing I know, I'm in flip flops, like just fucking hitting fingers. Fenway's cool. Fenway's really cool. It's just so old. You know what I mean? Like that's what's so cool. It's so sick. It's just like like you see like the seats that have been there for like years.
Yeah.
From the beginning. You know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, it's crazy.
Weirdly enough, Dodger Stadium's third, 1960.
Really? That's
1960. Yeah, that was like after that. Every other ballpark's been redone. Yankee Stadium switch. 1960.
I went to the old Yankee Stadium before the last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I got tickets the last year.
That's pretty awesome. I don't like the new one.
I don't like the new one either.
Yeah, it's not. I was like, oh, it's right. Why did they do this? Why didn't they just
keep it?
Yeah, it's right across the street.
Yeah.
What was the point of even doing this?
Yeah,
you have all the history. Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio. What was this? Money.
And you would have never known that thing even existed there. It's like a park now.
Yeah. Like it's literally a baseball park. Right next door. It
did make sense.
Okay, all right. It does, yeah, but New York City, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, we have Marlins Stadium down at home, and it was just like,
I remember when they won.
Oh man, 2003.
Yeah.
And 97.
And you guys beat the Cubs. That was the year with the Steve Bartman.
We beat the Yankees in 03.
No. I mean before that in the NLCS, wasn't that the Steve Bartman?
Maybe.
Yeah, when the dude caught the ball.
Yeah.
Like they were like,
I was young.
Then they blew that ball up or whatever or something like that.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, they got the ball the next year.
Yeah.
And blew it up.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what baseball needs. Is the ball maybe you just put a mystery ball in and it explodes.
Yeah.
And then you can't make the double play. And you're like, he just threw in a mystery ball. The team, this was a great time to use that. That would make baseball so much fun. Yeah. The bat explodes.
Yeah.
Why not make the ball explode?
Why not make the ball explode? I think, remember Randy Johnson, that pitch where he
made the bird explode.
Made the bird explode. Yeah.
If you could see something explode every now and again in baseball,
it'd be exciting. It'd be worth something to go see live.
It would be like, wow.
Except playoff baseball is electric.
Playoff baseball is the best.
Electric.
It is.
Yes.
But regular season baseball?
Boring as shit.
There's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like I'll go watch the Mets play because they're cheap.
Yeah.
And like, they'll play the Dodgers, so I'll go watch them just get their ass whooped or whatever. But it's great. And also it's great to just watch so many people be sad.
Yeah.
It is great to feel that, to be like, wow, you guys really think this was gonna be your year.
Yeah.
It's kind of good. You know?
The Mets have always sucked.
I feel like gambling's like that. Gambling really is. It's winning is great.
Yeah.
But that sadness you feel when you one leg off from hitting.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm alive.
Yeah. Like I was so close.
I was this close. You're like, I had the money. It was right here.
I could have changed my life.
I fucking hate you, Chandler Parsons.
That's God just like getting between you and like success. Just like you're not supposed to get successful like this. Yeah.
You're just like tunnel vision on the bus. Like I was this close. Upper West Side. I swear to God, I saw the building I wanted. You're like,
dude, I saw a lady just like I was driving past the Big Easy Casino back near my house recently because I was home in Fort Lauderdale, and like just this lady like at like 3 PM just walking back to her van leaving the casino. I was just like, God, I wonder what she's thinking right now. Like just another day, I'm not a millionaire. You know what I mean? Like leaving the casino and just being like, well, today wasn't the day.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah. Pack it in and hit the dollar.
Back at the slots.
Dollar slot, penny slot, whatever. Yeah.
Pull in the slot machine.
Yeah.
Is there a place that like you have in mind right now where you're like, I want to go for like, it could be for like sports or like, or like just leisure?
Just to go?
Yeah.
I want to go back. I haven't been there, but the Dalí has this place in Spain. We went to his museum in Figueres.
Okay.
He's got this other like side house that him and his wife used to live at like during the summers and everything on the coast. I want to go see that house because his museum in Spain was insane.
Okay.
Not gonna lie.
Where's the museum?
It's in a tiny town called Figueres.
Figueres.
And like you got to take a train like 4 hours from Barcelona or something like that. It takes a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, I took acid before.
Well, I mean, I feel like you're going to look at art.
Yeah, I'm like,
if you're because you're an art guy.
Yeah, I'm an art guy. I love.
So yeah, you probably love the hallucinogenics.
Yeah, it's
or psychedelics. Psychedelics.
Especially him. I'm like, all right, and it's the train ride. I'm like, by the time this hits, I'll be good.
Who's the one who created the Familia Sagrada? That's not Dalí. That's not Dalí.
That is
the other Spanish artist. Patty, can we look that up? Familia Sagrada artist.
It's the cathedral place.
Yeah, the cathedral. Yeah, he's a big artist.
Gueno, what's it? He's big. They just finished it.
They didn't finish it. They're not even close.
Familia
Sagrada.
Isn't it? He's the Park Güell. What's the guy's name?
Yeah, there it is.
What's his name? They just finished it, I thought.
No,
it's not. I just went. We went.
Look up who created like who did the art for it? Like who did it?
His house is in Park Güell. I can't remember his name.
Architect. Oh,
Gaudí.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know how he died?
No.
He fucking got hit by a tram car.
Like a train?
Like a train.
Like a trolley?
Yeah, like a trolley.
Like one of those like ones you see in like San Francisco?
Yeah. And, what? And people left him on the street when he died. I swear to God. He got hit by a fucking, they thought he was a beggar. Because I was in Barcelona. We went to the house. We went to the Park Güell. And we were like, all right, his shit is everywhere. So we went to go see his houses. He got hit by a tram. And then people were just passing him. They were probably like, look, we want to help, but we got to take a siesta. We can't help you right now. And he just fucking... He was like their guy too.
That was the guy.
Even back then, they knew him as like the guy. And then he just fucking...
On June 7, 1926, Gaudí was taking his daily walk to the San Felipe Neri church.
Very religious guy.
For his habitual prayer and confession while walking along the Gran Via de les Corts Catalanes between Girona and Bailen streets. He was struck by a passing number 30 tram and lost consciousness.
And they like left him there.
And they just really just like, no.
They're like, hey, he looks like a beggar. We can't help him.
Isn't that crazy?
Permiso,
That's like New York.
That's what I'm saying.
That's New York.
And he was like the most religious guy. He only did 2 things: design buildings and prayed. That's it. That was it. He led a very modest lifestyle. Design buildings and prayed.
You know what's so funny? He sounds like such a pure guy.
Pure guy.
Like there's 1000%. So many conspiracies about Da Vinci.
Nah.
And then like guys like that, like, all these weird conspiracies where you're like, oh, who knows? They're like, Abe Lincoln was a closeted gay. And you're like, what? You know what I mean? Like with Gaudí, it's like, no, he's just a good guy.
Yeah.
Not saying gays aren't good, but just like, there's nothing against this guy.
That would be hilarious if he was gay. Gady. That would be a great name.
Is that, yeah.
Not Gaudí.
Gady. Yeah, that's how he's like, I'm trying to tell everybody.
Got hit by a fucking train. But I want to go see Dalí's
Dalí.
His place with his wife.
What is it? What is it about Dalí's art that like draws you to it?
He's funny.
Funny.
He's funny. Like, you can go to the Met now. They got some of his stuff there, but one of his things is the Madonna, which is like Raphael's Madonna, but it's inside of a human ear.
Okay.
That's funny.
Okay.
To put the Madonna inside of an ear.
Yeah.
And then at
the Madonna, like the Virgin Mary.
Yeah. And it's like, this guy has a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Or like, there's one of the rooms in Figueres, you go into it, it's like a sound room. So if you stand there, you go, it'll like changes noises or something like that. Or he took a room and designed it after a movie actress. Her name is Mae West. So like the couch is lips and the bed is like eyes. And then there's like that canopy on the bed. And it's like yellow hair.
I could see why you'd want to take acid to go see this place.
Yeah. He said shit too. They asked him like, your art is so crazy. Like, are you on drugs? And then, he's all Dalí. He's like, no, I am the drugs. Like, that's just.
Yeah. And you're like, dude.
Yeah, you're out of your mind.
You're out of your mind.
This is funny to be in a place like this. He just does weird shit. Like his wife died and he has like a car out front that's supposed to symbolize him carrying his wife's dead body. And like there's tears or whatever. If you put a euro in, the car will start raining tears. And you go, come on. This is funny. This is great.
Yeah.
But it's great that he even thought of that. He's like, you got to put a euro in though for it to work.
And who does that money go to?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's where you're like, oh man. He built the whole museum. On the top of it, there's just a bunch of eggs. It's just like.
Just like real eggs.
No. They're like, big, giant, huge eggs. But it's like, this is funny that a guy even was like, thought of this stuff.
Patty, can you look up a picture of that?
Yeah, if you look at the museum, you'll see it. It's. I recommend it. It's worth the day trip. I think the train is the most expensive thing. The museum is super cheap.
Dalí Figueres?
Figueres. Figueres.
There it is.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow,
The big
look at the
eggs.
place. Holy shit.
It's the whole, like, I don't want to say it's a whole block, but it's like a whole. The rest of the town is like, there's the Mae West right there.
Dude, it looks like something out of like Universal Studios.
The whole place is crazy. It's insane. That's what I'm saying. I was like, I got to take drugs to go see this.
Yeah. And what was it like? What was your experience like just on drugs going to see that?
It was amazing. It was like the first time where I was like, oh, I understand everything he's trying to do. I understand. There's one in there where he has that Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, there he is. Yeah.
If you zoom in on that, that's actually a picture of his wife naked looking out like at like you can see her ass right there. If you go down, and then in the corner there's a picture of him like. If you go to there it is.
I don't think
see, you can see her ass right there.
Oh yeah, I do see it.
But that's what I'm saying. When you're up close, you just see a woman. But when you're that far away, like you have to
just see Abe Lincoln.
It turns into Abe Lincoln. So his art changes just on the perspective when you look at it.
Interesting.
That's why I'm like, he's fun to look at.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, up close it looks like a woman. But then when you go far away, like that,
oh yeah.
Like, oh, that's a woman. And then there's in the corner down left, there's like another
guy.
woman. That's
him.
That's Dalí.
That's him. Yeah.
And then from far away across the room, you go, that's Abraham Lincoln. That's hilarious.
This looks like stuff that would be made like today.
Like, that's the point. That's how good he was. Like he's making shit for now. Like he has laser art in there. He was like consistently.
Back then, people were probably like, you're out of your fucking mind.
Oh, for sure.
Like, because how he died already? He's dead, I'm assuming.
He's been dead, for a long time.
Like
80s, something like that? Yeah, 1980s.
It's kind of like, I love hearing about guys like that who...
He wasn't getting hit by a trolley car, I'll tell you that, right?
How'd he die? Look at him. He's
just old age. He's just old. He died. Him and Picasso, old age.
He's on the Dick...
82. Dick Cavett.
Dick Cavett show, yeah.
Yeah, Picasso, too, they were old. They just died at old age.
Yeah.
But, like, he has pictures of his friend Pablo Picasso. And then it'll have like a picture of him with like a silver tongue and a big giant rock on his head. Basically saying this guy was the most stubborn fucking dude in the world. But like, how we're friends.
Yeah.
You can talk about him like that because that's your friend.
Yes.
And I think stuff like that is like, even they were doing that back then where they go, he's a great speaker, but this motherfucker don't listen.
But that's a good friend though.
That's what I'm saying.
That's how you know they're best buds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he showed it to him too. He's like, yeah, this is you. You know this, right?
Yeah.
And Picasso was like, okay, motherfucker, watch. Yeah. I got a painting for your ass. Yeah. He's like, I'm going to do some Guernica, blow all your shit out the water. And he's like, because, Picasso's the guy.
He's the guy.
Yeah. They were all like friends because he was part of the Surrealist movement. It's just like, they're like comics.
Yeah.
The girl he married, Catherine, I believe her name is like, he was in love with her.
Probably like a hooker.
They had all slept with her.
Yeah.
As a group.
Yeah. I knew it was going somewhere like.
They had all.
Yeah.
had sex with her.
Yeah.
He was the one that fell in love with her. And a lot of the other guys got mad. They were like, you can't fucking marry this girl. Like, you know, everyone fucked her. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And Dalí was like, I love her. She's the love of my life. And she was. He dedicated everything to her.
Yeah.
Like her ass is in Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
Like that's
which
love.
Abe Lincoln would be mad because he was gay.
Yeah, Abraham Lincoln would be like,
we're running out of time. I wish we had more time, dude. But dude, that's fucking awesome. So the name of that house on the coast, what's that called?
I don't remember the name of the house, but it's just his house.
It's Dalí's house.
It's like his coastal house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can go check that out if you go to Spain.
Who would you go with if you went? Would you go by yourself? Would you just go with friends?
No, I would go. It was me, Natan Badalov, Steven.
Yeah.
And we'd have to do it again. Yeah, Sahelnik. We'd have to do it again. I mean, I was the only one on drugs, but they didn't find that out to the train ride home. But yeah, I would do that again.
Hell yeah.
The train ride was so much fun. It was funny. It was hilarious.
That's the best. 4 hours just in a train from Barcelona. Just
half the town was obliterated.
That's how we were thinking about, like, when we went to Pamplona to run with the Bulls. It was like the train ride from Barcelona to Pamplona. It was just like, I can't believe like we're doing this. You know what I mean? Anyway, dude, Alex Payne, you're the man.
Thank you for having me.
It's good to see you, man. It's great talking to you.
Always good talking to you.
Do you want to plug anything?
Yeah, we got Sad Money podcast. That's where we, me and Steven Sahelnik, we make fun of money and everything like that. We got Live at the End on Fridays. We still have to have you on that.
Totally, yeah.
And then is there anything else that I'm missing? No, I think that's it.
Dude.
Alex Payne Comedy, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, make sure to check out Alex Payne, dude. This guy's one of the best comics in New York City. He's fucking hilarious. So, dude, so good seeing you.
Good seeing you always, man.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. All right, see you later.